What is up, everyone? Lesson number 1. I hope you guys are excited as I am. Today we're talking about posture, and we're gonna throw in a little bit of body language in there too, as a little bonus for you guys, because I like you, because you guys are my friends. So I don't mind, sharing my advices, free of charge, of course. But anyways, posture is one of my favorite things to talk about. I could talk about it for a very long time because it's one of the things that's like black or white. We talk a lot about hair and hairstyles and fitness, how to gain muscle. Is it this program or this program, this body, this exercise or that body exercise? Different things work for different people. Yes, we can find the baseline of what works for most people, but for posture, it's black and white, and it's going to work for everybody if you correct your posture. So that's why I like talking about it so much. It's the easiest way to see the biggest improvement in your overall presence, right? That's why we call it the glow up snowball, as we talked about in the welcome video. The theory is, it's not even a theory, the thesis is you start with something that is an easy win, and in the background, you start working on the things that are a little bit more of an investment, and you take your time, get those easy wins, it builds your confidence, you see immediate changes. By the end, you're, building yourself, your physique, and that's the final step in the glow up snowball. But number one, well, that's for a later time. Number one, we got to talk about posture. Posture is something that you can fix by the end of this video. This will probably be an hour-long video or something like that. By the end of it, you'll feel very confident in your posture, and you'll notice a difference in your day-to-day life. You'll feel better about yourself. It's going to be great. And that's why I have this quote here. One of my favorite quotes. Sip of coffee real quick. It's easier to act your way into a new way of thinking than to think your way into a new way of acting. So basically, you could do all this introspective work, self affirmations. I am Brett Maverick. I am Brett Maverick. I am enough. I am enough. All this type of stuff. But if you actually just focus on the actual function, the mechanical stuff, it has a profound impact on the mental as a chain reaction. So, getting your posture right, you feel better. You feel this feedback from other people. It's crazy. So I recommend focusing on this, as well as, things like going to the gym. You feel the muscle filling with blood. It's hard not to feel confident. It's hard not to be like, God damn, I am growing. I'm becoming somebody more impressive, right? So yes, of course, it's amazing. It's great to focus on your mental state, your mental confidence, your willpower, all of these things. But I feel like the physical applications precede the mental. So that's why posture is number one. We're going to get you sorted within the hour. Hope you guys are ready. Also, by the way, this quote, I love it so much, but when I try to look up who actually said it, 5 different people show up. Jerry Sternin is one of them, as well as 2 or 3 different other people. So I never know who to quote, but maybe I should just steal it. Nah, I won't do that. I'll just leave it anonymous. But anyways, let's talk about the basics. The basics of posture. I feel like everybody deep down knows what they are. They just need to hear it so that they can actually remember to actually implement it. So this basics are the same whether you're sitting, standing, walking, pretty much everything, man. Unless you're sleeping. I guess you don't have to do this when you're sleeping. Although there is some postural changes to your sleep that you can make that do benefit you. I didn't include those in this video. That'll be a separate video. But let's talk about it, man. Modern age, most people work from home. I think I've read 65% of people work from home on their laptops, hunched over, kind of like I'm doing now. I don't have a proper office chair or anything. I'm literally sitting on this wooden box thing. Feels like it's going to break down every 5 seconds. But anyways, you're sitting hunched over a laptop, and you get this thing called nerd neck. It's where you get this relaxation in your posterior chain. So it tightens this area and it pulls your head forward and gives you a nerd neck, right? It's not a good look. It doesn't look confident or masculine at all. It's very sloppy, and most people have it. You start getting this hump on the back here, your traps in between your shoulders, right? It's not good. So this is how you correct it. Head up, chest out, shoulders back and down. When I feel uptight, I get stressed out. I get this wiry feeling for whatever reason. I try to remind myself that, and one of the ways that I actually reground myself is just take a deep breath, let it go, and drop the shoulders as low as they can go. And this is the best way to just kind of like reground. It's the great equalizer, a good deep breath. So head up, chest out. You want to imagine a straight line going from the top of your skull through your ear all the way down to the middle of your feet, right? Connecting this whole chain. So a lot of guys, they do this for a couple seconds, they feel good, but then they go back to their normal slouching shit, and they don't maintain it for any extended period of time. So they ask, what can I do? How can I make sure this is a constant thing? Well, you're in luck, because there's both physical tricks as well as a mental trick. One of my favorite physical tricks is, well, not my favorite, but we'll talk about the one that's more expensive and then some cheaper versions. The brace is probably the most expensive. I don't know if you've guys seen these ads and whatnot for this like 8-ringed brace that you can buy off Amazon or whatever. So it's just 2 loops for your arms to go through, and then there's Velcro in the back. And I should have included a picture, but so you just put it on like a backpack, put one arm through each, and then you grab the straps and pull it tight, and it tightens it and pulls your shoulder blades back together, bringing your shoulders back, right? Because that's the main thing. You get this like rounded shoulder look, and then it brings your chin up, and it's a whole chain reaction. So you bring those shoulders back. It's hard to go like this when your shoulders are back. So I think you can get these back. I mean, I haven't worn mine in a while, but I think when I bought it, it was maybe $20 or something. So this is definitely an option, but I find it quite annoying. It feels like you're wearing like a backpack all day, like all the time. If you have horrible posture, obviously make the investment, do it, deal with the uncomfort. The uncomfort might actually be a good reminder to like keep your shit tight. But a couple other options, cheaper options. One, this is probably the cheapest option, is you just get a piece of tape, like a little piece of, that clear tape, Scotch tape, 2 or 3 inches. Put it right here on the back of your neck, like right above your traps, right? And you do it when you have nice posture. You put it on there, because then when you start slouching, you start doing this nerd neck thing, whether you're working over a laptop or something, you feel it crinkling and you feel it bending a little bit. And it's a good reminder to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I need to straighten it out. So I need to straighten the back of my neck, get my head back on top of my shoulders. It's a good reminder, pretty much free. But of course, people might see a piece of tape on the back of your neck and they're like, what the hell is that, dude? And you got to explain it to every single person. So another little reminder trick is to get yourself like a ring or a bracelet specifically for the reason of reminding you to correct your posture. Whether it's a little ring, you get a cool looking ring off Amazon for like $5. You just wear that every single day, or a bracelet. I got this little bracelet. This isn't for that reason, but when I came up with this mental trick idea, now it kind of serves that purpose a little bit. So every time I look at it, it's a reminder, right? So this, I think, is a really good option. There are 3 physical tricks you can do, and then 1 mental trick. I don't know if I made up this mental trick, but I call it the string theory. Maybe I'm just the one that put a name to it, but I think it's existed in like ballet and other things, and maybe like the military and other things for a while now. But the whole theory, I guess, of the string theory is you just imagine that someone is holding a string that is attached to the back of your head, the crown of your head, and the other end is attached to your tailbone, right above your butt cheeks. And you imagine that they are pulling this string tight, so it just cinches your back up in a straight line, pulls your head back over your shoulders and in line with your hips all the way down to your feet, right? So now you'll never forget it ever again. You know why? Because the string theory is another scientific theory that everything is made out of very tiny strings. So now when you look at everything, since you are a scholar, you will be like, wow, that is made out of very tiny strings. That relates to the string theory as a postural theory. I need to correct my posture, right? It's genius. You're welcome. Now you have perfect posture. There you go. Kidding, guys, but kind of not. All right, so that's the basics. Never ever forget it again. Standing. Obviously, like we mentioned, the basics are the same. Head up, chest out. Take your deep breath to recenter yourself if you need to. Do something with your hands. You ever see somebody standing perfectly straight, kind of like that guy who's there in the middle? It looks like you're very tense. It looks like you're waiting to be ordered around somewhere or something. It's very important to always have something to occupy your hands with. You know, you become so crazily aware with this once you get involved in posture maxing, looks maxing, these types of things, that you notice it with everybody. And that's a point that I really want to drive home to you guys. A lot of you guys just kind of float through life and things happen. You see people that you idolize or you're impressed by, but you don't even think about why. But now that you're in the game, you're going to start analyzing, seeing what makes them impressive. You know, I was just watching The Bachelor with my girlfriend. Her idea, not mine, obviously. But the main guy, he's pretty charismatic. He's level-headed, and you know, they're shooting the B-roll. He's like having this thoughtful moment walking through the park, and he's just like rubbing his hands like this, and he's like playing with his finger, and he's just walking, like being very introspective. And I guarantee, you know, 99% of the people watching this are just thinking, wow, what an emotional moment, what a guy, you know. But I'm thinking, oh yes, the hand movements, the gaze off to the side, the facial posture, the emotion, the expression. And this is something you'll start taking notice of. We could talk forever about things you could do with your hands. You could, you know, put one hand in your pocket, have one touching your face. The one thing that I feel like I have a slide for this later, but maybe I don't. I'll mention it now anyways. One model trick when you're posing for photos or something is to never be too symmetrical. If you're going like this, you know, two hands on your waist, it's eerily too symmetrical and it doesn't look good. Like, for example, this guy all the way here on the left, too symmetrical. Looks like a stock photo, but then you see Jordan Barrett, the God, you know, our Lord and Savior, over there on the right. He's got one hand in his waistband, one hand behind on his thigh or something, or I guess basically on his butt. So you need to always think creating angles. See, Jordan Barrett, again, on the right, he's got his arm at about a 90-degree angle, the other one's straight. You're always thinking angles and setting off this symmetry. Now, obviously, you don't have to like walk around like you're posing for a Vogue photo shoot, but just keep in mind, if you're not doing something with your hands, you're going to risk looking like, for lack of a better term, whatever the opposite of a leader is, someone waiting to be led, somebody who is unsure of their direction. So it's a very easy way. And some things you could do is put one hand in your pocket. Never put both hands in your pockets. That's the most supplicative look that you could adopt, right? It only works in animes. Imagine Baki walking around. It looks cool in the anime, but like in real life, you see some guy walking around, both hands in his pocket. He looks very unsure of himself. He looks like he's protecting himself from what might happen from the external world. But one hand in your pocket, that's fine. Put your hand, I do this all the time, just kind of put my couple fingers on my chin. You could, you know, just kind of like lightly set it on your shoulder. Just create angles, man. move slightly. Things like this. You're going to start noticing it everywhere now that I've mentioned it. Yeah. Now we're going to talk about feet positioning. So this wide stance right here of this guy on the left, we're going to work left to right. This is something commonly practiced in the military. It's very attentive. A lot of you guys probably have this standing positioning, but it is subconsciously a very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's intimidating and maybe a little bit over masculine. So let's say you're meeting a new person and you're standing like this. You're standing feet shoulder width apart or a little bit further than shoulder width apart, facing them straight on. Yes, it's confident. Yes, it's masculine, but it might be a little bit overwhelming to them. Like, why are they sort of sizing me up subtly, right? And then, of course, there's feet close together positioning. This was the best example I could find, picture-wise. But this is, on the other spectrum, it's a little bit supplicative. It's a little bit closed off, a little bit nervous, a little bit beta behavior. So the best alternative that we can find, which you will see basically everywhere, not every modeling photo, but like 90% of modeling pictures, is called the foot forward standing position, which Jordan Barrett, our Lord and Savior, is displaying right there. You're opened up slightly, but you're staggered a little bit to kind of set off this face front on intimidating posturizing, right? So you're leaning back into your back foot, the one that doesn't have the toe pointing out. You're kind of got your weight back in your hip, your other foot forward a little bit, a slight bend in the knee. It's that perfect mixture between beta and alpha, female and male, masculine, feminine, right? But it definitely leans towards the masculine. It's like a welcoming masculine. So this is something I want you guys to try out. And yeah, there's a couple more examples. See, like, no one would ever look at this and think you're like trying to size them up or trying to make them feel inferior. But you look at it and you do feel their masculine presence. So you look at the guy on the right, leaning back into the foot that's behind, leaning into the hip a little bit, other foot, slight bend, same with the guy on the left. Yeah. One hand in the pocket. This guy's drinking a cup or something. Try it out. Sitting. Did I just yawn? That's not cool. I gotta drink some coffee, I guess. The main thing to remember when sitting that most guys don't know that they're not doing, but you can't be afraid to take up space. Don't be afraid to, I put mansplained because I couldn't remember what the word was for it. What is this like? What was this thing that all the feminists were like going psycho about a couple of years ago when guys would like sit with their legs wide apart? Man sitting? Is that what it's called? Whatever. Don't be afraid to man sit, because technically us men, we have different bone structure that requires us to spread our legs a little bit. Women have wider set hips because they need to be able to give birth. So adversely, their joints point inward. So their legs naturally go inward in kind of a protective state, like, you know, closing off their vagina, right? But us men, we have non-childbearing hips. They're much narrower, so our joints naturally have a little bit obtuse angle pointing outwards a little bit. So it's our natural state to point outwards a little bit. Like, sit down, your knees naturally kind of fall apart a little bit. So there's all this hubbub, oh, don't man sit in front of me, you're showing off your junk. Ugh. One, that's how my bones are trying to tell me to sit. And two, I've got dick and balls right there. You want me to sit there and smash my shit just so you don't get to see my clothed crotch area? Why are you looking there anyways? So don't be afraid to man sit a little bit, but also just don't be afraid to take up a little bit of space. You ever notice, those of you who have interviewed for jobs or been sent to the principal or whatever, most people in positions of authority, most people who exude confidence, they have expansive body language, you know. Their legs are wide apart. Maybe they're like sitting back in their chair. They're throwing their arm around the chair next to them. They're comfortable taking up space. Imagine going into a CEO's office and he's sitting there. Hello, Brett. Thank you for seeing me today. His knees are together. He's got close foot positioning, like this guy number one on the left here. Like, you'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? This is supposed to be the guy I'm supposed to listen to. This is the guy leading our company. Weird, right? So it should be more like this guy number 3 or number 5. None of these are even amazing examples, but sure shit, all of them are better than number 1. So don't be afraid. Take up some space, throw the arm up, lean a little bit back, kick the leg out slightly. You know, don't be a dickhead sprawling out on the couch when you're going on an interview, but, you know, don't be afraid to kick the elbow out, right? Whatever you got to do. Now, when it comes to sitting, it's incredibly important to be congruent with your presentation. So you ever watch these movies like Mad Men? That's a TV show, but you know what I mean. Mad Men, Wolf of Wall Street, you know, Suits, these guys who dress well with suits, Peaky Blinders. A lot of the time they have number 3, cross-legged sitting positioning, where one leg is draped over the other, connecting at the knee, right? This, you might have originally thought was kind of an effeminate way of sitting, because that's kind of how women sit. Like, you're kind of crunching your nuts a little bit. A lot of you probably grew up doing the figure 4 lock all the way over there, number 5 on the right, because, you know, seems a little bit more manly, right? But then you start seeing these shows where these elegant professional men who are dressed to the T are doing the cross-legged sitting, and it looks very nice. It looks very sophisticated. They look elegant. They look like professionals. But that's because they exude that aura. They're dressing like it. They have the personality, the appearance, the whole 9. If you saw a guy on the subway wearing fucking baggy jeans halfway down his ass and a freaking oversized football jersey, and he's doing the number 3 cross-legged foot positioning or leg positioning, it would be like, what is this guy doing? This looks weird, right? He'd be more likely to be doing something like just standard knees apart, number 2, or maybe the figure 4 lock, right? So it's all about congruence. If you were the guy who dresses well, looks professional, you could either do the cross-legged, knees apart, figure 4 lock. But if you're, you know, more casual, more bro-y streetwear type, it would look a lot more congruent to do more casual sitting positioning, like number 5, number 2. That's about it. Number 4, ankles crossed. That looks a little geeky, huh? Imagine you go into a CEO's office. You look under the table, legs are crossed. Hello. Thank you for seeing me. Weird. So, it's all about congruence when it comes to sitting. Keep that in mind. You'll start noticing it everywhere. Like I said, pay attention to the feedback. But the best, science shows, from women, the most attractive sitting position is called the starter position. This was the best photo I could find because this is very niche. It's not like something, it's not very super common thing that people are paying attention to. But it's called starter's positioning. One hand or one arm, forearm on the leg, the other hand resting at a 90-degree angle or some sort of angle on the other leg, kind of leaning forward. It's this attentive, compassionate sitting position. You could imagine a teacher, like a male teacher, coming over to help you with a question on your homework. He kind of like sits down. Tell me what's going on. You know, it's a helpful, non-threatening, but compassionate way of sitting. And I do this all the time when I found out that this was supposedly so attractive and so aesthetically pleasing. So this guy looks like kind of, you know, he's not the most impressive build or style. So it looks a lot better on, you know, someone who's got a little more presence, but now you know what it looks like. Starter position. All right. Walking. Of course, spend a lot of time walking. Most of us do. Principles are the same. Head up, chest out, shoulders back and down. As always, we got lucky Blue Smith here on the right showing us how a good walk looks. Although he doesn't really look like he's swinging his arms very much. Or maybe he just caught it at the exact moment that both of his arms met in the middle. But anyways, natural swing in your arms, like we just mentioned. This is something that I can't sit here and say, yes, you should have a 12-inch radius of your arm swing and raising up to longitude. No, you just pay attention. You'll start noticing it. You know what a natural arm swing feels like. A natural swagger in your shoulders can be a little bit helpful. You know, kind of like we mentioned before with the biological build of women versus men. They've got, you know, a little bit larger hips because they need to bear children, right? So naturally, they've actually adapted, I guess they kind of did adopt this habit as well. They've adapted to emphasize their childbearing hips by having a slight sway in their hips to kind of like accentuate their hips, right? That's why you play Grand Theft Auto. The prostitutes got this like crazy swing in their hips, right? And this is something that you'll start to notice. So, because when you accentuate that, it kind of shows it off. It's a bit of a mating call to the other sex, right? You start noticing these things just like twerking. Like, you think girls just twerk for fun because it feels good? No, it's like, it's a mating call. They're shaking their hips, right? So anyways, women have this build where the difference between them and us is their childbearing hips, so they accentuate that by swaying their hips a little bit. Men, on the other hand, have adopted this little bit of swagger and this little bit of sway in your shoulders, this little dip, because whereas women don't naturally have broad shoulders, they have a bit of a hourglass build where it comes down and then gets wide. We have a reverse hourglass. We got very thin hips and then it comes out at our shoulders. That's one of the things that makes us masculine. You ask any woman, one of the favorite things they like about men aesthetically is the wide, broad shoulders. So a little bit of sway in the shoulders can actually make you stand out a little bit. This is probably something you never thought about. Normally you're just walking, maybe you don't give a shit, or you're just walking perfectly straight like a robot. And you look like freaking, what's WandaVision's boyfriend or whatever? Vision? You look like Vision. Ooh, you know, try a little bit of sway, just a tiny little bit next time you're walking. And you can see this if you watch models on the runway, male models, usually. Yeah, so swagger in shoulders instead of hips. No hands in pockets. Like I mentioned before, one at the very most. It's a very supplicative, protected look. So you want to exude confidence and readiness, you know. If your hands are in your pocket, you look like you're protecting your stomach and protecting your groin a little bit. Your fingers are chilly, right? Be a man. Take a hand out. You're ready for it. You're open. You have open, unprotected postural positioning. You're ready for anything. Slap you up if I need to. So that's very important. The model trick. This was like one of the very first things that I was taught in the agencies when I did my very first modeling runway gigs. It's kind of hard to explain without a vision, but, you know, imagery. But basically the premise is when you're making turns, when you're walking, you want to lead with the inside foot. So let's say I'm walking forward. These are my feet. I need to turn that way. I'm going to turn this foot forward, point that toe outward, and then follow with that one. If I'm walking this way, the wrong way to do it, say I'm walking, here's my feet, you need to turn them that way. You turn this outside foot first. You get this like pigeon-toed stance, and this is kind of the same as like the close-footed standing positioning. It looks very like supplicative. It looks very like non-directional. Like you don't know where you're going. You're like confused. You're fucking up your footing. You don't know. Like it looks like you just got juked, and you're like, oh, this one's going this way. Oh, you know. I wish I had a good image for you, but frankly, this is a PowerPoint presentation and can really add a video. But anyways, so take notice of that when you're walking. Turn with that inside foot. You open up. You create an open stance first. You know, because you're a man. You're not afraid to be open. You're ready to take on all comers, right? So inside foot first, open angle, follow with that foot. Don't close first and then go. Now I'm going to show you a quick video on walking. This is just an example of that I use a lot of times in my videos. It's just like a Levi's ad, but the guy has a very aesthetic walk, so let's take a look. So the guy puts it smashed. Why is the quality bad? God damn it. All right, guys, I fixed the quality, so we'll try it one more time. All right, so the guy just smashed, puts his pants on. Give me that shit. Throws his shirt on. Peace, baby. Pets the dog. There you go. Nice broad steps. Chick wakes up. Fuck. Nice natural swing in his arms. Girl's checking him out. One hand in the pocket. She's like, damn, I just got played. Nice natural swing in his arms. Natural swing. Little sway in his shoulders. Sits down. Eye contact. She's wet. He notices. Playboy. She's like, round 2, let's go. Okay. So, hope you enjoyed that example. Now you know how to walk perfectly. I hope the audio and shit is all good. Because last time I filmed something and when the audio got fucked up, it like ruined the whole video, but whatever, we'll see. Okay. So this is something I want you to try. Next time you're in the gym, move with intention. Be proud with your movements. Hold your head up, your chest out. Be a man. I'm guessing I used to be like this too. A lot of you guys are probably just, let me guess, just like, you put some weights back on the rack, you kind of lumber to the next machine. You don't have any pride or consciousness in how you're moving. Have some pride in how you move. Be a man. Even when you're sitting in between sets. Erect spine. Hands on. Do the fucking starter's position. And then when you get up, you're walking through the gym. When I started doing this, my head is up, my chest is out. You feel the attention. You observe the feedback. It's crazy. It does enormous amounts for your confidence. The first time I realized that I'd clapped posture was I met up with this other big YouTuber named Connor Murphy, and we were filming some shit. We're walking around downtown Santa Monica. We're about the same height, 6'3". And I noticed I was like 2 inches shorter than him. I'm like, damn, I don't feel 6'3". And I noticed that his chest is just sitting out here and his head is up. And that's when I made the conscious decision to fix my shit. And it took a couple weeks of like conscious effort, noticing it, reminding myself, and it worked. Like, you feel so much more just confident, for lack of a better word. You feel a commanding presence. So next time you're in the gym, try this out. Just when you're moving in between machines, in between sets, just have conscious effort and pride in your presence. All right, hand positioning. We kind of already touched on this, but let's run through this one more time. It's always important to keep your hands occupied, doing something. Shows confidence and comfortability. Create angles. Yeah, kind of already touched on all this. I kind of forgot I put a slide later, but there's a good example here on the right here. This dude creating angles. That right angle with his left arm, you know, kind of like a 160-degree angle with the other arm. Creating angles. It shows fluidity. It's less rigidity, less statuesque if you were totally symmetrical. Hand in pocket. Cross your arm over here, other hand up here, like this. Go like that. Just play around. This is probably my favorite. Just one hand over belly, other hand touching face or something, or this side of face. Hand on hip. Just play around. Do what feels comfortable, and it'll become comfortable. Feels odd for the first couple of weeks you're doing it, but continue to do it, and it'll eventually become a habit. Sorry, but somebody was calling me. Let me have to call you back, bro. All right. Hand movements are also extremely important when speaking. Albert Mehrabian. Let's see, I got the quotes. He says 55% of communication is nonverbal. So you could have the perfect tonality, the perfect verbiage, the perfect projection, but half of it is lost if you don't have good nonverbal communication. This comes down to facial expressions, hand movements, posture changes. You lean in, you lean back, tilt your head, things like this. There's thousands of movements, thousands of combinations you can do, but most common are points, like you see Andrew Tate doing here on the right. He's a master at speaking, and especially hand movements. You emphasize a point. This is going to get you involved, or whatever. Frames. This is best for showing a time frame or a measurement. So you say, from the age of 10 to 20, you know, you create this. You emphasize a point. From the age of 10 to 20, I knew nothing but basketball. I don't know. Scholar's cradle. This is this is something you see often. It's going like this. You create sort of a steeple with your hands. It's best when you're sitting. It's kind of weird to do it when standing. Imagine that, right? Sitting, your arms rested on the desk, creating this kind of steeple. You could do it with one finger as well, like this. This is like a very powerful positioning, and it's receptive, and it's called Scholar's Cradle for a reason, because it's used by scholars. I mean, it's all in the name. Impacts. These are things like, you go, and that was it. Boom. Put a nail in it. It's like a boom sound effect in a movie, right? And that was it. Or you can put it on the table. Blah, 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 blah. She cheated. Found out she cheated, and that was it. And that was it. I was out. Cuts. Cuts are like a slice. I'm not going to hear it anymore. I'm putting a stop to it, you know? There's so many things. There's no possible way we could... You go like this, you know? This is a hand movement. Dude, you could go like this. You could go like this to emphasize, like, it was so bizarre, you know? Come to your own conclusion. Like, what happened there? There's so many different things that make up hand movements, but The important thing is you are going to start paying attention because you are no longer just a spectator. You are the person who is going to be spectated upon. Look at the hand movements. Look at the facial expressions. Facial expressions is another one of the things where we could talk about it forever, but there's unlimited facial expressions. And most of you are aware of what they mean, but they can also have a huge impact on the effectiveness of what you're saying. I could sit here and say, and then my mother passed, and then okay, I'll use nice tonality and stuff too. And then my mother passed away. I couldn't even resist it. And then my mother passed away. And then my mother passed away. You know, can make a huge, I don't know why I used that example. That was sad, but you know what I'm saying? Like, let's go over some of them. I think I wrote some down. Yeah. Facial posture. Smize. This is a modeling term. And this is just smiling with your eyes, leaving your lips out of it. Shows compassion and appreciation. What it consists of is just like, you just imagine you're smiling, but do nothing with your lips. Get a little bit of wrinkled fro right here. It's like, I hear you. I understand, you know. Raised eyebrows. Obviously, this shows surprise and excitement for what one's saying. Let's say somebody's telling you a story they think is important. It probably sucks anyways, but you go, wow, that's so exciting. I'm so surprised. You know, it makes them feel good. It's an incredible way to build rapport with people. Pursed lips, aka you just kind of press your lips together. Shows sadness and understanding. You know, they're telling you something very emotional. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, all of this is ways to manipulate an interaction in a positive or negative way. Every form of communication has some level of manipulation. If we didn't have, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. You hear the word manipulation, you think like, oh, he's manipulating her, you know, or wow, gaslighting her, or whatever, you know. No, manipulation could be a positive thing. Like, I'm manipulating you to know that I hear you and I appreciate you, you know. I'm manipulating this interaction in that way. I'm manipulating you to understand me better by using hand movements. It's a form of manipulation. I'm increasing the effectiveness. I'm bending it upward. I'm bending the effectiveness of my words upward. Or you can bring it back down. Let's say your girlfriend texts some dude, right? And she knows you don't want her texting dudes. Why would you? She's telling you her sob story. Oh, it's just a friend. Bring it back down. Bring the facial posture down. The expressions to a minimum. She's telling you, oh, it's just a friend. We worked together. Like he's into horses like I am. Blah blah blah. You sit there. Pull back. Rein it in. Kind of says something there. Lesson in there. It says more. What else? And you're kind of like leading her into the obvious. She knows that she fucked up, but you're letting it come to her instead of being like, oh yeah, you're off the hook. You know, there's different ways that you can do this. And this is only going to come from just paying attention to the feedback. Cannot stress that enough. This is the biggest takeaway from this entire lesson. We're 45 minutes in. Pay attention to the feedback. Pay attention when you make this facial expression. What do people think? Do they rein in? When you go like this, when you're talking, when you go like this, do they go? It's going to be so subtle. But sorry guys, I keep looking at myself on the screen here. I should be looking right here, you guys. It's so subtle, but it's so important. Maybe I'll just drag myself up there. So yeah, that's better. It's going to be so subtle, but it's going to be noticeable for sure. So this is my big lesson for you guys, other than taking pride and consciousness in the way you move about, especially in the gym. The gym is the best place to try it. It's because so many people just kind of slunk around. Try it in the gym, and the next thing, start focusing on feedback. Nobody pays attention to anything anymore. This kind of drifting through life. But you guys made that decision to not be one of those spectators. You are now the man in the arena. You're not gonna be ignored anymore. You want to become an impressive individual. And the first step to doing that, pay the fuck attention. Don't be just a drifter through life anymore. So I think that's pretty much it. Let me see if we have another slide. Oh yeah, this is just a facial expression chart. For those of you who really struggle with this, maybe this will be a little bit helpful. We could go through them a little bit. You know, let me get my handy dandy little drawer thing out here. I like this one. This is such a form of manipulation. Look, she's giving you the puppy dog eyes. This is to extract sympathy and emotion out of you so that she can get what she wants. Women are experts at this. This is disgust or anger that she's been disrespected. You really would say that to me? Shock. This is gossipy. That really happened? Johnny cheated on Sarah? He was such a nice guy. This is like either flirty, you know, that little smug look. Oh my gosh, some of these crack me up, man. Oh, yeah, I didn't even read this shit down here. Sadness. Who the fuck makes this face? If you guys are making this face, dude, stop that shit. This ain't TikTok in 2021. You guys get the point, I think. Surprise. I don't know about this one. This is like your homie from high school who still gets stoned every day. Hey, bro. I'm getting married. What? Oh, that's awesome, bro. But yeah, you guys get the point. It's not all just the tonality or the verbiage or the things you're saying. You could be a great speaker, but a lot of it can be lost if you don't have the right body language, posture, facial expressions, so on and so forth. If you guys like learning about how to speak and such, let me know and I might make a speaking course, because I'm a master speaker, of course. I can definitely do that. I like talking about that kind of stuff as well. So let me know. But yeah, guys, I think that's the end of the presentation on posture. We're 50 minutes into this thing. I hope you guys learned a lot. So this is something you can implement today, and you will implement because you made the decision to be here. You're going to implement it. You can fix it within the hour, you know, the basic postural changes. Next, we have, I believe, is it clothing or hairstyle? Yeah. Next video should be out. Just click the next one in the module. Can start working on the bit more investments, you know, some things that can't be fixed within an hour, but they're still quite easy. We'll end with the bigger investments. That's why it's called the glow up snowball. You start with the easiest and it grows and grows until the gains are exponential, and you guys are going to be impressed with how far you come just in a short period of time. So hope you guys have an excellent rest of your day. See you in the next module. All right, all right, all right. In this video, we're going to go over the go-to outfit. This, fortunately, is still in style. It has been for a couple years now. That's the one shitty thing about style, is the one thing that stays the same is everything changes. But fortunately, this is still in style. I could see it being in style for quite some time. So even if you purchase this program in 2027 or even later, I'm sure it'll still be in style, or a version of it. And that is the all black outfit. I was going to say this is a going out outfit. So you're going to wear this going out to a club, to a dinner, to an event, to anything that's maybe a little bit, you want to show up and show out a little bit. You know, you probably don't wear this going to the fucking grocery store. You could for sure, but you know, I recommend probably dressing maybe a little bit comfier if you're just lounging around on the couch. So this is your first outfit. This is the going out outfit, all black. Why all black? Black is a slimming color. It makes you look more commanding. It's a very model-esque look. If you follow runways and models, they incorporate a lot of black. Why? It's just fierce. It does something. It's void of loud, obnoxious, childlike colors. So it's serious, mature, and fierce. So what it consists of is black button-up long sleeve. Just your shirt. And of course, all of the links to this will be in the description down below. So you can go pick this up right now. And it's a little under $200 if you want to get the full outfit. So black button-up, that's what you're going to be wearing up top. You want it to be nicely fitting. Down below, black jeans. Regular fit or slim fit is what's in style right now. Not so much skinny fit, or like the oversized baggy look is not really in style with this particular outfit. It is definitely for more casual outfits, but not so much this. So regular or slim fit. Then you're going to want some black or brown boots, which I have a nice affordable pair in the description down below. You can get it right off Amazon. If you want to get some more higher priced, but probably better quality, then you can check out Red Wing. Those are really nice boots. Doc Martens or Thursday boots. But of course, these are all going to be quite a bit more expensive. So that. And then, I skipped the black blazer, fuck. Okay, and you need a basic black blazer. This is something lightweight, something, slim fit that you can throw on over your black t-shirt. And the links to all these are down below. You can, if you'd like, switch out the blazer for a leather jacket. That looks really nice too. I'm not sure if I mentioned in the next slide, but some jewelry also will really look nice. Here's some examples of the all black outfit. As you can see, Noah Beck over there on the right, he's got some necklaces. That looks really good. The guy on the left doesn't have anything and he doesn't look as good. So there's also links to the jewelry. Some rings, a necklace, a couple rings. It's just like, it makes you pop, makes you spark a little bit. It's like tricking people into thinking you know about style. All right, second outfit is casual style. This is something you can wear hanging around your friends, going to the grocery store, whatever the hell. So button-down t-shirt. This is what I have linked in the description. If this isn't really your vibe, just like a distressed graphic t-shirt is really in style these days. Cargo pants, which is in the description, or any sort of loose-fitting jean type of thing. But basically baggy style. Skinny jeans are no longer in style. Those went out sometime last year, unfortunately. So yeah, baggy. I was gonna say the baggier the better, but that's not quite the case. Would want those Jinko jeans. Do you guys remember those? They're like fucking massive, almost parachute pant style. Anyways, getting off track. Shoes, something bulky. So Nike Dunks are super in style. I also included an affordable equivalent to that you can get from Amazon. Was it? No, not Amazon. I think it was Shein. The shoes that kind of look similar to Nike Dunks. Nike Dunks are great, but they're like $160 or something. Yeah, or anything similar. You know, kind of bulkier sneaker look. Here's some examples. I'll move me out of the way so you can kind of get an idea. So yeah, guy on the left, those are cargo pants. See, they're not super baggy, but they're definitely baggier than skinny jeans. He's just got a graphic tee up top. A lot of times, like the slightly off colors look best, so that's not white. It's kind of like an off-white. He's got 2 necklaces, looks great. Guy on the right, those are also cargo pants. Distressed t-shirt. It's really not that distressed, but yeah, just like a little bit oversized t-shirt up top. Some sort of little insignia on the front. It looks great. These are just to give you ideas. Jewelry, yeah. Throw a couple necklaces on. I am not a huge necklace guy. I usually like maybe 1. Sometimes I'll go 2 like these guys, but I'm never like the guy on the left here going 3 necklaces. Also with rings, I usually don't wear more than 3 at a time. 5 seems a little excessive to me. But that's up to you, bro. That's up to you. Yeah. Where can we get these? Various places. There's a wide spectrum. There's expensive versions. Zara is the most expensive that I've listed here, but there's even way more expensive versions, obviously. H&M is some fast fashion or department store option. They have most of these things at H&M, Zara. Shein and ASOS are these new online fast fashion companies, but they literally have everything, and it's dirt cheap. So they get a lot of flack. There's a lot of like controversy around these places, but I shop from there anyways. I don't know. I don't mind this stuff, even if it's bad quality. And yeah, that is the go-to outfit. I recommend everybody at least get one all black outfit. It looks sick. Looks fierce. You look like a fucking model. You look like a G. That's it. See you in the next vid.